Vibhuda Surasaukya Dukka Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste. Yo Vipralimba Viparita Matiprabodhan Vadan Narasya Kritavan Bhuvitattvavadam Sarveswaro Haririti Pratipata Tam Anandadita Munivaryam Navami Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satya Dharma Rataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrikshaya Namatam Kamadhenuvim Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvinavadidamastu ma Vishvidavahaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends once again to our journey on Kathopanishad. Last week we have seen how the ultimate power is operating the universe. Actually, why we call him as ultimate power, because we have seen through in the various Upanishads, we have seen from our own experience, we are experiencing it, but we are not able to realize it consciously. Yes, there is an ultimate power who is operating, because we are so intimately, because we indulge, in day-to-day experiences. We are not able to find, because we are not able to even have a sort of a spark of a time to realize that there is someone who has been operating us and someone who has been with us always, to help us and take us through this life. Because that doesn't happen, because in your way, because everyone has got, to live in this world. Everyone has got his own area of operation. Everyone has got his own area of comfort. Because we have created, God has given, when we have come into this world, we have not created our own comfort zone. We were open, because suppose if we were born in Africa, because we might have adapted to the conditions. If we are in some other, because desert in the Middle East, and we would have adapted to that condition, and we would have been brought up, because whatever is obtaining there. Because the culture and the way, the way of living, everything, because makes you to get, and create your own comfort zone and make you yourself to adapt to certain situation where you are always being used to. But what happens is, because whatever we know, we develop ourselves over a period of time, it all become our habits. Habits in the sense we are used to certain way of living. If I am living in South India, I have got a way of living. Same thing if I go to North, because the climatic conditions are different and the food and the sort of, the normal day-to-day life is different. So naturally, because there will be a habits of a different kind. But by and large, because we are all living and we have the same requirement. After all, because what we have is clothing and food and other thing is common everywhere. But the way we are getting, we are trying to access it and utilize it and live in this place, live in a particular place, that is different. But otherwise, because the needs of the body are needs of the mind and needs of, because what you find the satisfaction or self, sort of, the actualization, what we say, because what makes us happy, what makes us, because to sort of get always accentuated interest, to go forward, to always keep us in a mode of enjoying the life, enjoying the whatever we are doing, because we are doing what we are enjoying. Because if I don't know, enjoy something which I don't know, I will not be doing it, which I am accustomed to. But unfortunately, what happens, most of the things, since they have become a habit, we have forgotten to enjoy what we are doing also, because habitually you are doing it. So you are getting up and you are taking food, but every moment you start enjoying. Even when you are getting up, you get look, the day has come, the day has dawned. I think yesterday was a good day, and now I am going to see, what is that, waiting for me. Let me see the world, because like that, we don't have it. We immediately, we come with, because okay, I will have to get the milk, I will have to get a cup of tea or coffee, and then I will have to go there, and then I will have to go bring and vegetable and so many things, because that bothers us. But what once we do look, this is a day has come. Let us see, what happens, what awaits us, how we are going to do it. Because then once you start, doing with the sort of a happiness without any reason, because looking for happiness, because you are happiness personified, you don't have to always be worry about the every day, you are doing the same thing. Every day you are going to be after certain things. that doesn't have to be a sort of a drudgery, because once you start, but then you will be able to apply your mind to most important things. But habitually, when you are doing, and when you are not able to enjoy what you are doing, you are lost into yourself. You are not able to go beyond, but you have got such a potential, and you have got such a power, and you have got such a wonderful, because the zone of happiness, you are not able to access that. So that is exactly, because we have been brought about. In fact, last week, that's what we said, ultimate power, when you said, because there is even everywhere, the same power is there. Everyone is being operated with the same life force. Why we are trying to differentiate between one and the two? Because that is what, the mantra said. We were seeing the 10th mantra last week. We said, because yet eva iha tat amutra, whatever, you are obtaining here, whatever, we get it, yet amutra tat anu, because whatever indeed, because whatever is there, in the, what we call cosmos, whatever is the ultimate living power, that power is there. That's what, we have also seen isa vashyam idahum sarvam, because, when the same life power is there here, everywhere, in everyone, in every object, in everything is there. Isavashyam idagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam, there is no place he is not there. In every nook and cranny, every atom, every minuscule particle you can conceive, in everywhere, in even the galaxies, or even the sort of a deep down, because if you are not able to access something below the sea also, because everywhere it is the same power that is operating. And why? Because they are telling yet eva iha tat amutra, but what is obtaining there is here, in the sense the same power is inside you and operating. What we got, the life force, which has come through us, through our breath, and we are able to have that breath, in which we call, because in our day to day, as prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, and all those things, through that, he is operating, he is giving you the energy to get into this world and do whatever you are capable of, and you get your ability to the full sum, and you are able to make an excellent outcome of that and live, and you are created in the comfort zone and all this. If that is the case, because why should you differentiate between them? I think that there, we were also seeing, there are various denominations. We are trying to differentiate ourselves. I belong to Advaita philosophy. I belong to Dvaita philosophy. I belong to Visishta Advaita philosophy. Or, I am a Hindu. I am something else. That's a very simple word. Rig Veda said, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuta Vanti. Because there is only one truth. So when one truth is there, why so many people? Because it is the conditionalities in which you are living. Because every religion has developed. Why religion has developed? Everyone wanted to find there is something, some power beyond us. Because whatever you do and whatever you expect as the outcome never happens. Whatever you think and you do, if it happens, then there is no God. Because there is no need for a God. Because you are doing it, it happens. But it doesn't. Always you are being surprised, because what you are doing, because then, so many things come into the fore. How you are doing, why you are doing, what purpose you are doing, how you are focused, all those things comes. Then only the man started thinking, look, when something happens, when we are thinking, and when we am having a faith in myself and trying to do, why something else happens? What is that? Because there is some power. Because then how am I to find the course for me to live in this world and understand? So that once I know what is that power, then I will be able to live in unison. So that's why this mantra said, when you said, you will have to be living in consonance with everything else, because all of them are being operated by the same power. You will have to be living in consonance with the flora and fauna, the animal kingdom, as well as the plant kingdom, as well as all, because in inanimate objects also, because they have also hills and all the stones, and because the organic, the water and the rivers and everything comes, because they are all being operated through, and because they are all having a course. And how to utilize it, that is why they said, we will have to live in harmony with all the creations. That is how, because the entire Vedic life, because it is how they were living in the nature with keeping their requirements minimum, and so that, because you take only so much of requirement and you go give back like what your effort, and as well as because creating the sort of a harmonious environment in other creatures can grow and sustain and flourish, which we have not done. This is exactly, because this mantra is established in this context only. We said we should not be differentiate between, because anything, when you are not going to differentiate between any of the creations, why should you be able to make a differentiate between the creations, because like human beings, we are here. Human being is the highest evolved form of any creature, we have seen Durlabham Manusha Janmanam so many times you have said. Having done that, why should you do it? Because if you are trying to find a differentiation, because any of his creation, and when you are trying to find a differentiate between, because the power who has created, is he going to be different from something, and is he going to be different in a tree? Is he going to be different in a plant? Is it going to be different in your own, because chitta, who is operating, who is helping you to operate? Or is he going to be different anywhere? No. This is what it says, you don't, because that is where, you mistake, because then you think, you are something, because superior to others and all. That is exactly, because your avidya, your ignorance is being removed by this particular mantra. So he says, when you are trying to find a differentiation between any of the creatures or any of the denomination or any of the faith, so many people are having faith, depending upon the circumstances in which they are living, they are being brought about. In Greek, there is a religion, because the Stoic religion is there, which is followed by Romans, and Jewish and Abrahamic religion, because it has given rise to three big religions like Christianity in Judaism, and as well as because Islam and all those things, Abrahamic religions have come. And there is because our own, because scriptures are brought about, and lot of religion have flourished. We do have Jainism, we have even Buddhism, and then the China has got a lot of religion. Taoism is there. All of them is there, but all of them were trying to look into the ultimate power, how to be living in consonance, and trying to understand that, and trying to use, because why we are trying to do that, because that is the purpose, so that once you try to look into with that particular point of view, you will be able to live in harmony with all others. So then that is the purpose. We said, when we were telling, because if you are trying to mrityosa mrityu apnoti, because if you are trying to find a difference, because it is a death of, because death in the sense what they say, then you are not still, being able to evolve yourself. You are not able to, you say, you will only be going in cycles looking for that. If you are not able to transcend in the limitations in which, you have created your comfort zone, you will not be able to understand. But if you, by understanding that, you will be, it will be only good for you. You will be able to transcend. You will be able to see everything, because so that, when you are able to see the same power, which is operating in everywhere and all, finally you will be living with harmony with everyone, even not only in your family, even outside the family, even outside people whom you, for strangers, you will not be differentiating anything with you. See, once that comes, that is a Vasudeva Kudumbakam, one the highest concept that has been brought about by our scriptures. Comes. Yeah, iheva nan eva pashyati, because nana eva pashyati, in the sense you will not be finding a difference between, because he's a Japanese, he's a Chinese, he's from African, I'm an Indian, he's a Christian, because I'm a Hindu, or I'm Hinduism itself, I'm Advaita, he's a Advaita. No, you will not be seeing all those differences in that. So this is the first stage. So after that, because was why it is, because finally, since there is a power, which is operating us, and it was created, rather who have given a sort of a reason for us to be created in this world and live in this world, then, because you should not be differentiating between, because when you are trying to find a difference in others, you are trying to find a differentiation in the powers which is operating in. There is no difference here, because the same power, the same God whom you call, whom you have not seen, neither I have seen nor anyone else has seen. Even people are professing in the other faith, they are also trying to tell, because what they have been told, because how the God could be, that's what they are telling. Because again, then you will not be able to this, describe it, because yet vachena, because you will not be able to describe in words. So manasa saha, because because you will not be able to think, because you will be able to think, but you will not be able to fully configure, what it is and all. It is something, which has to be more to be experienced and felt at a particular point of time. The moment of ecstasy when it comes, because when you see that ecstatic moment, oh, this is it. That moment comes when you are able to focus yourself, when you are able to conserve yourself, when you are able to come together yourself and put all the focus into yourself, because not getting dissipated into all the outside, because our own angularities, our own likes, dislikes, when you are not allowed to dissipate, then you will be able to get that. Then in that case, what it says is, yata iha nana iva pashyati, then you will not be able to see the differences. So what is the ultimate thing that is coming about it? You should not be finding any difference between that you are have a special creature, that your God is something different, or you are being operated like that and that, because you have got the same wants, the same two-time food and few clothing that you need. The same thing is required for anyone else. And there is a beautiful, because the Tamil Sandam literature, Kaduma Parkum Kalla Varuvanukum Unbadu Nali Udupava Irande. They are only the two. Sangam literature says, you may be an emperor, or you may be a mighty monarch, you may be a peevish beggar, you may be a rag picker. Doesn't matter. All your requirements are only two. But that is being helped by, because the ultimate power. I was also quoting one sort of instance from Bhagavatam, because when Yudhishthira was telling, because how, because I was looking after now, because I have failed, because how these people will be looked after. Then Narada comes and tells, who are you? Even you are being looked after by the ultimate power. You may be, emperor or something like that, whatever it may be. What you are eating the food, because the plants are sacrificing their life so that you are able to live. And who makes that? Because that ultimate power. So if you don't think, someone is making everyone else, and he gives the need of everyone so that they all can flourish in harmony. Everyone is making a sacrifice. A plant is making a sacrifice. The animal is making a sacrifice. And there are so many, because then when you are taking the mineral out of the earth is making a sacrifice, because you are just leaving the earth, because totally, you take out the mineral and you leave it as it is, and it gives the disaster. It gives rise to a lot of disaster, and you don't find the responsibility of closing, whatever you dug out, and do it, because there are a lot of regulations, because no one follows, because you just follow what you wanted, you got it, and then you forget it. That should not happen. That's what it says here, because yesterday, because as Prabhupada was last week asking, because how different philosophies explain that. So when we go by the Advaita statement, it says, because there is no difference whatsoever. Don't find a difference at all. It is the ultimate power operating through the ultimate power. Because even when it's being operated, it is the ultimate power who is operating, and it is not you. You are just, the body is only a sort of a framework through which it is operating. As long as you understand, because that, because it is the ultimate power, it is operating itself through itself. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman. Brahma. That is when they say it is nothing but Brahma everywhere and all. But then, because how because same the creator and the how can operate through creator, is then there are nuances of the philosophy, and we will have to go into that. This is one approach. There are 6, 7 approaches to understand. All the philosophies have tried to attempt. One is the metaphysical approach. The metaphysical approach of finding out, because what is the final truth? Ekam sat vipra bahuta vadanti. That is philosophical. Metaphysical and is philosophical. How, because Brahma Satyam is common to all of them. All the Visishtadvaita, Dvaita, and Advaita, and all other, because Shuddha Advaita, everything, because one thing is common. We will go by the common Brahma Satyam. It is the truth, is the final ultimate power is the one, who is operating us. Whether he is operating through himself, or whether he is operating through the soul or jiva, That is where it differs. Otherwise, Brahma Satyam is that there is no dispute whatsoever. It because if you dispute it, then and I think the question of sort of going by Vedic religion, Vedic way, is totally absent. Because that's why none of the philosophy is trying to attempt that. They go by that, but then they are trying to interpret how this power is operating. And then they say, because when is that monism, because what they call it, when the entire, because the creator and becomes the creator, when you know this body is only a framework, and finally you understand that is, the Vyavaharika Sakta and Paramarthika Sakta. Vyavaharika Sakta is when you are living in this world and going about, living and enjoying and as well as doing whatever the world requires you to do. Then you are in the Vyavaharika in the sense, because you are away from God. Then you are doing. But once you are trying to understand, look, because this ultimate power is there, let me do that. Only when you try to attempt and when you try to bring the mind to understand that, because the mind will not understand till such time thoughts are there. Even a small vestiges of thoughts are there, you will not be able to understand. That's what that philosophy says. So what happens till then? Because you cannot say, because I will not be thinking at all, because as long as this body is there and when the life force is there, the thoughts will be coming. But what you will be doing is, you will be so neglecting the thought one after the other. You will not be giving any credence to that, and you will not be giving any lifeline to that, and it will vanish. Over a period of time, when the thoughtless stage comes, what happens is, it is just like that. And as per the philosophy, it is just you are transcending. You will be thoughtless stage. Is that is no solution. But after thoughtless stage, because you have understood, because there is nothing, after that you will have to transcend the mind. That means, you will have to just go beyond the mind. Go beyond the mind in the sense, not only thoughtless stage, you will have to go still further. That maybe 1 in million, 1 in billion would have achieved that. The great masters, if at all, because that's a possibility is certainly must have been there, because all the because there is a Shrutis are there, and they have also said that. But for a common people, because like us, who have to understand that, then in that case, because finally in Paramarthika Sthita, because you almost becomes a god in the sense. What is the difference between the God and you? Because that's what the normal logical question. Because that has been very clearly in the nuanced way, it has been answered. But that is what normally, because the initial stages, people who are still trying to find, because what is this philosophy, how to understand that question remains, because it is something, which you'll have to, one has to get through so many things and all. But I think if you go by the scriptures and all, you've got the further clarifications also that is there, that the nuanced, the masters who have written that, who have been gone through the philosophy, they will be able to. So this is one aspect of it. The second is, there is the theistic aspect of God. Theistic, and first is philosophical aspect, metaphysical aspect of finding the ultimate truth. The second is theistic aspect of having a God. God in the sense that God in whatever you got, God, or whether you got the ultimate power, you call, because the creator, whoever is there, there is someone, who is the power, who must have, created order, because there is things are working like that. There is no clash of, because between the planets. The sun is in exactly the same degree to give the same level of heat without, because living is burnt, to ashes in this world, as well as, because it gives a soothing, because the comfort, during the, and summer it scorches, and the winter, he gives the soothing comfort, wherever he has to. And there are other side of the world, where you are getting the cold region, because where it happens, there also people use it, and there also summer is there, because it differs, the seasons change. There are 6 seasons, seasons come and go. So likewise, that is what Purushottam has explained, because the season, he is in all seasons. And Gita says, I am in all seasons. And I am, because then my favorite season is Margasisha. And he says, likewise, because that is one soothing, the season of spring, which is supposed to be the wonderful, because in Western countries, in even the places, where the flowers are blooming to the full. So those things keep happening, So likewise, someone is theistic. He must have created so many type of flowers, so many type of fishes, so many type of dolphins, so many type of whales, so many, because there's such a combination. You will not be able to create even anything, because it's such a wonderful. You are able to see some of the flowers. I think, even if you want to create in a lab, you will take, because tens of years, to even before you attempt to create that. Such a wonderful creation. How it has come? Because there is someone who has created. That is a theistic approach. Then there is an ontological approach. Ontological approach, because when you are trying to find, because how, because the truth and the truth, what type of a truth is there, whether the relative truth, because there are a fictional truth, we have created, because the human being, as a society, when we have come, we have created something called countries. God has not created, and He created the world. But we have created the boundaries, we have created the states, we have created the countries, we have created the provinces, we have created, and we have also created the religion, and because the way we were living, because God has not created the religion, He has given all the power. But then, because when what are all the scriptures available, then you are trying to form a way of life, and you have created those things, because our aporshaya, which is not written by any of the human being, we take it, because that is the final sort of the one which is showing us to the God. Why Vedas are considered to be supreme? Because Vedas finally create, finally denote, who is that ultimate power in the every religion is trying to find. Pratipadya. It all take you to that particular power, because it can't be two, it could be only one, Brahma Satyam. All the philosophies accept that. But interpreting that Brahma Satyam only, because with the power, because what happens in is monism, because it is the same power. He is, because being, manifested into everything and all. Finally, once you understand that, once you understand, yes, you are finally are getting into that ultimate power, you don't exist, because you have got no means of existence. Once you get the sakshata, because Brahma sakshata, what they call it in Advaita, you don't exist, you sublimate, that's all. That is the end of it. The moment you understand, because that's all. That is, one approach of it, that is philosophical. Theistic approach, because most of the religions, try to attempt, there is a power, because without the power, how so many things could have been created, so many things could have been kept in order, so many things, how it could be warded off, and they have been given the safety and security. And whenever there is a calamity is there, again there is, some sort of a resurgence is there, and he replenishes the entire energy in the entire society comes back. So the cycle goes on. So there is a birth to death, because that we see and all, but in the Upanishad says from death to death, in the sense, everything, because goes off, and because they come in a different form and all. But once you understand, the most you understand that you are in a harmonious existence, you will have to exist in harmony with everyone, including others. So when this theistic approach is there, because then philosophical approaches tries to find, because there is some superpower and he is independent. In fact, because the Tattvavada, because there is a very famous, one of the greatest works of, because 37 masterly works of the Madhvacharya, the Ananta Tirtha, because one is Tattva Sankhyanā, one of the most celebrated, and in fact it is the first sort of the scripture one should get into, if you want to understand Tattvavada. In that, the first mantra says Swatantram Asvatantram Tvad Vivitam, because Swatantram Asvatantram, the one who is independent. One doesn't need, because he is the one, because we all other Asvatantram, who are all creations, all whatever has happened, who are all dependent on that life power, they are dependent, and he is independent. The independent could only be one power. He says the entire category of the world, the creations, the inanimate, animate, everything together, if you take it, Swatantram, Aswatantram, cha Vivitam Tattvamishyate. That is what Tattvavada. That is one two. So this is where, because you cannot, you are dependent on anything. You are trying to find, why this. When you have got, oh God, you say, Or even if you want to tell your God by a different name and all, because when you are perplexed, when you are at a crossroad, because you don't know, because you are trying to do whatever logically possible, whatever you have learned, whatever your intellect is able to tell you, and whatever is able to gain, whatever skill you have to do, you have got it, you are using everything, but finally something happens, something doesn't happen, then you realize. And sometimes unexpectedly it happens, because you have done everything without expectation. So when you are live without expectations of what is going to happen, and then when you are able to do whatever comes in the way to the best possible, and with a pure intention, that is antakarana suddhi. Once you do that, once you know, automatically, because the God chooses when you should realize. That's what this is. Swatantram asvatantram cha dvivitam tattvamishyati. That is what that Tattvavada says. Visishtadvaita says, because look, you cannot, he is not operating through him, because you are dependent on him. See, in fact, because your job is, you have been created so that, you are part of him. He is, because in fact, you are like one sort of element of, his whole body, because Sariraka Mimamsakam. See that it means he is like the whole body of the universe, and you are part of it. Like your fingers are serving you, your legs are serving you, your hand is serving you, your eyes are serving you, your ears are serving you. You will have to serve, because you are part of him. Kainkaryam. That is the highest. Then it says, because that it is, you are like, because there is one particular Gita we will quote, because we will be quoting, in the context of the next mantra also. In that, you are like, because a gem studded into a necklace. So the gold is, because he is a gold, he is a necklace, but you are being studded, likewise, millions of gems are being studded. So gems, they are dependent on the necklace on which, it has been studded, not the necklace other way. Necklace is independent. But gem, because the Visishtadvaita says, you will have a semblance of, identity with him, but you are not identical, as Monism says. Because that is the approach. Because it's a metaphysical approach also. They say that is the truth. The truth, ontologically, then they are trying to find the truth. The truth, theologically, because all the philosophies say Brahma Satyam, there is one truth is there. Ontologically, metaphysically, and theologically, there is one truth. Whether you want to, because that is the God and the ultimate power, you want to call it Vishnu, Shiva, whatever you want to call it and all. The highest Narayana has been, everyone has invoked Narayana, including Shankaracharya and all the Bhashyas and all. That is Narayana. Finally, for a Nara, that is the Ayana. Finally, that is the destination that has been taken. So therefore, because from this point of view, when they said he is independent and dying, and independent, since he is the power who is independent, since he is operating everywhere, you should not find any differentiation in his manifestations. In avatars, he is in a different avatar. Dasavatara, we know about it. You should not be differentiating between this avatar and that avatar. And in the same power who is living in your life power as in your heart. Or in a Hridaya Akasha, what they say. It is a sort of a they have given a representative, figurative representation of God living. He is in the center of operation of every human being or every animal or anything like that. He is the one you cannot be differentiating, and is the same power, who is all the who has taken all the 10 avatars, who has taken, because so many, he is operating everywhere and all. You should not be differentiating, because he is the same power. Without that, you would not have survived, because then you, for finding a difference between that, means that you are trying to find a difference between your fingers, or you're differentiating between a forefinger and a thumb, or you're differentiating between one eye and another eye, or you're differentiating just because one ear is paining and another ear, oh, this is a good ear, it's not paining, this is a bleeding, wrong ear, it is paining. Are you doing that? You're not doing that. So you should not find any differentiation in the highest power, because which is called Vishnu in Tattvavada, and so is in Visishtadvaita and other philosophies, or Krishna in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, because that philosophy and all, wherever it is, Narayana, because all other philosophies have taken them. So once you do that, you cannot be differentiating in that. Because you should be, that means, once you are differentiating, you will be differentiating, into the operation also. So as per that, because Advaita says, because the Brahman is, he is the one who is giving the entire energy and all, he is operating, he is nothing but Brahman everywhere, and he is the one who is operating, the Brahman is only through Brahman in you. That's what it says. Because you are nothing but Brahman in Paramarthika. Whereas, because Tattvavada says, he is operating, you are an instrument, you are nothing. You have got, all these features of body and all, Durlabham, Manushya Janmanam, you have given, because you have got 3 stages to go, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurushatvam. That is your evolution, because in the stages of evolution. That is why, because Taratamyam concept which has been brought about, there is a gradation and all. When you are living in this world like any other human being, you are a Manushyatvam. But when you are elevating yourself and you are able to get into someone, who could impart, the great knowledge, which you have tried to access, which you have gone through the scriptures, Sadagamaika Vijnayam Samatita Tharaksharam. When you are able to see, through the Shastras and other, you are able to get and you are able to impart. And when you are trying to find yourself, you are trying to get, because the final realization of the God, by having Antakarana Shuddhi without clear intention, doing everything to the perfect, not expecting any result out of that. Karmanyeva adhikarastu mapaleshu katachana. Without that, when you are able to do, that is the highest. And once you transcend that, once you do, finally you have got sublimated, or you get into that, because realization, even that the fraction of it, Mahapurushatvam, you become an Acharya. Acharya in the sense why, because why Jagat Guru, because all the great Acharyas are called Jagat Guru. Ramatacharya, Shankara Bhagavatpada, and Ramanuja, Acharya Ramanuja and Madhvacharya, all of them are called Jagat. Why Jagat Guru in the sense? Is Jagat Guru, because by verbally do you think, Jagat Guru is equal to Jagat Guru is equal to? Jagat Guru is the one who is showing you who is the Jagat Guru. Krishnam Mande Jagat Guru. They are all capable of taking you to the route. You are all in the base camp of Everest. If you have to climb the cliff, you need a guide, the Sherpa. They are the one, because who are showing the way, the right way. And where you can't, get into the gorges, where you will not be blown away by, because the winds, where you will be kept, because and there you will be able to climb up. But the path is not very, very easy. For that, because that's why when you say Antakarana Shuddhi, and do everything to perfection without any expectation, and excel in everything whatever you are doing, because and when you are doing it, you do with the bhava. But what is the bhava? Kara iti bhava karma. So I have come here in Kainkaryam, Visishtadvaita says, you will have to do everything as a sort of offering to him. Whatever comes to you, you take it as a prasad. He has given me a big disease. Should I have to take it as a prasad? What type of a prasad is that? So I have been put into trouble. I will have to go to the doctor and I will have to get the surgery done. Is it that he has given it to you? You need it. And you have earned it. It is not, you have earned it, because he enables you to get through that, because once you accept whatever comes to you, and takes it, because by that only, you are able to get the Antakarana Shuddhi. By that only you are able to do everything without expectation. Karmanyeva adhikarastu mapaleshu katachana. You are able to go to that. When you are doing that, because this is what, because I have just tried to explain how, because he is operating through the instrument, you are nothing, because Hari Karta, Naham Karta. So once I am not doing anything, it is he gets it done. Once you have that bhava, then I think automatically you submit everything to him and accept whatever comes. And if suddenly, he gives you unexpectedly a great wealth, and then, it is I who have done it, because it has to come to me anyway by my right. If you take it, because Well, you have it, because then, because over a period of time, you yourself will earn your own sort of a consequences. He doesn't have to. He enables you to only do that. He enables you to have the antakarana shuddhi. He enables you to have the attitude, not to expect. But if you are not able to get that, you have been given that, you are not able to do it as a duty to, whatever you are doing is, that is the time. You have been brought into this world, and so that, you have to offer everything as a sort of, you are offering to Him. And get to know whatever comes, because because Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Stititoli Nidipradaya Jnanapradaya Vibudasura Saukya Dukkha Satkarnaya. You have, because he enables you to go through, and he enables you to accept and do it. Because when your dukkha is there, and he is not the one who is giving it, you have earned it. You have got your account, because naturally you have to prarabdha, how you will be able to get through into this life by taking the right attitude. Then why, because everyone has not having a same type of suffering. Everyone has got a different type of suffering. If you are trying to croak out, what you are feeling, what you are undergoing, the other person, may not be able to understand. Then you will tell you don't understand in that. Because you think, yours is the highest form of suffering. Because there are people, who are having much higher sufferings, and still they are silent, somnolent silence, thinking about, because once you have realized, finally let me go, let me have it, because I have to go through that, but then let me go through how best I can go through that, because there is a power who is in there. Naham karta hari karta. Once you have that, because he will be able to take you to that time. Whether am I able to take that? This is exactly, because this is like reaching the Mount Everest, because you're reaching the cliff. You are still in the base camp. You are miles away from the base camp. You have not even reached the base camp. Because, to reach the base camp also, you will have to acclimatize. You will have to have the proper, because you should be able to, the climbing, the skill should be there. And the strength of your legs, and the strength of the body, and the strength of the mind should be there. And you should be able to withstand any vicissitude that comes. Vicissitude that come by telling you, it comes unexpectedly. Yes, because the cold winds will blow, suddenly, from nowhere, into the height. Suddenly the gorge will open up, but the snow will melt, and then you will get into that. But then, because all protective gears, everything, people are preparing and trying to do that, and that's how they have done. How many people have done? How many people have lost their lives in that? So it is only a sort of a simile, but because to understand is, it needs so much of attention, so much of training, and so much of practice, and so much of, once you do that, it is all attitude, it changes. But what happens by doing that? You will be having all your habits will not be habits. Everything moment will be a mysterious wonderment in the life. Right from morning, even taking a cup of coffee, enjoying every sip of it, and maybe taking every morsel of food, when you are taking it, even in a breakfast, lunch, and all, they will all be a wonderful prasad. And once you take it, look, this is what God has ordained today. I am getting it, because I will have to see what best, because I can do it, because by that, you will be able to live in harmony with other beings and other flora and fauna, because that is what you are in the field. So when you are in the field, you will have to see, and then, because the psychological aspect of it comes in. Psychologically, because that's what the Western philosophy tries to attempt. The psychological state of the mind. Then psychologically, what happens is, because the free will, it is being discussed. Even we discussed a week before last. Free will, what you then? You think you have a free will. If you free will, why don't you do everything that is, because going to be beneficial to you? What prevents you from doing it? You are not able to. Always. If you think you have free will, because why you couldn't be, because happy yourself, because you got a free will, everything and all. But when you don't, because you when looking into, when you are not in the comfort zone, when you are able to see, you are being constrained. You are being, because your thoughts don't go out. You are being limited. You are operating within the limits. But when you open up, when you have this antakarana suddhi and all those things, you are limitless. You don't have anything which binds you. You are so open. You are willing to accept. You will be able to accept the insults, as well as you will be able to accept the praise to the Himalayan heights, and still go, because as it is, as nothing has happened. This is what the Upanishad tries to attempt. This is exactly is being brought out in the next mantra. We will just recite the mantra. In fact, we will go into the mantra very deeply, because next week it has got one of the finest concept. One particular word has been analyzed to the hilt by every philosophy. That word, we will see that in the next mantra. In that, because that's why, because what happens is, we have got so many approaches. One is, because metaphysical approach, a philosophical approach of finding the truth. And truth, and because the truth is being described by differently and all, because truth is, what is the truth? That itself is, because there are different satyam, asatyam, and pratipashika, because so many differences are there, that will also see. The truth is also being, because determined, because based on, what the human intellect can understand. The human understanding, because limited. Within that, how we can categorize and understand, because that's what it is. Like, theistical approaches, there is a power operating, how to be living in harmony, and the same power is there everyone. As Bharatiyar has said, ஆயிரம் தெய்வங்கள் உன்னட்டு தேடி அலையும் அறிவிலிகள் உள்ளதனைத்திலும் உள்ளொளியாக ஒளிந்திடும் ஆன்மா ஒருவரே. Same, because once you know that is the power, it is there, then you will have to live in harmony in the field you have come. Ontologically, you try to find the subject-object relationship. Am I a subject or am I an object? And that is, because subjective, in the sense, then you will not be able to describe. Object, in the sense, it is easy for us to describe. I want to get a house. I want to get a car. I want to be, because live like this. I want to have a family of this. All these things are objects. But once you are going beyond that, you will be having the subject. Because there's because what is the purpose behind that? What is that, because how it is going to enable me to live to my potential nobility, which I have been inbuilt in me. I am not able to mind myself. I am not able to find who am I, and what is the capacity I am having. I am not able to realize that. That Upanishad takes you there. And the ontology, and then psychological approach. Psychological approach is what the subject-object relationship and all. That talks about, because how thoughts come, and what thoughts are being, how, because initially, you have the basic knowledge, and basic knowledge, they give the perception when you see everything and all. How the perception comes, because you are having, because all sensibilities, what we call it, sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. How you are developing a desire. Sabda, sparsha, I want to hear only this music. I want to have only this ice cream. The sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, and all. Then I want to see, because the beautiful figures. I want to see, go to the hill station. I want to see the house on the seafront. So that is sabda, sparsha. Because these are all the things, finally they make the perception into a thought with a desire. So once the desire comes, then, because you are, because jolly well your intellect was, man, go after that, because that's what you desire. Once you know what is that you are going to get, what is the ephemeral state of, once you get that you will not, because as long as you want it, you want it. And unless you experience and find the utilitarian value or the non-utilitarian value, then you will be able to give. Utilitarian value will be there till such time you are enamored. Your fancy goes. Your fancy stops, because then it becomes a non-utilitarian. It's ephemeristic. Then you come back. So you will go on doing this. This birth and death, what we talk about is birth of a desire and death of a desire. You go on doing it. In that process, you will have unfulfilled desires, at the end of the day. Because then naturally the death to death, as the Upanishad says, you will have to go for the next experience of death only. It's not a birth, but the Upanishad beautifully says. The Yama says, because death to death. Mrityosas mrityum apnoti eva naneva pashyati. Because that is from death to death you are moving. So we are going to the next mantra. We will just recite it, and we will the full-fledged explanation into the hilt of it, and as well as the importance of it. It has got one particular word, and I will also highlight the word next week. We will get into that. Because very deep into that. Here is your mantra number 11 in your page 97. It says mind center stage for sadhana. Because this is what the title given to that. Manasayeva idam aptavyam. Manasayeva idam aptavyam. The mind alone, this is to be attained only through the mind. Manasayeva aptavyam. In the sense, mind alone will be able to give you what you are looking for. It doesn't say through the mind, but only mind only will be, you have to enable, like the pole vault, you need the pole to put it into the keg, and because you have to scale, the wall tower, the target that has been put in, you need mind, because mind will have to get, and finally the intellect will have to be analyzed, and it will have to give the wherewithal. Manasayeva idam aptavyam neha nanasti kinchana. That is the beautiful word. Neha nanasti kinchana. This word, if you go there, philosophically, there is a reams and reams of explanations, because everyone wants to prove their philosophy using this particular word. Neha nanasti kinchana is a very, very important word. If you go and see the Neha Nanasti Kinchana in Google, because you will get hundreds of explanations. Advaitic explanation, Tattvavada explanations, others. Everyone is trying to give a sort of a meaning to that, and because it's also the same word is coming in another Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad also. Neha Nanasti Kinchana. In another Upanishad, Niralamba Upanishad. Niralamba Upanishad is sort of giving more of Advaitic concept into that. There also it is coming. And Sveteshvara Upanishad, there also it comes. So there are also three different words, three different places it is coming, apart from this Kathopanishad. And there we will say, because how people have taken, what are all the importance of it, what finally, it leads us to. See, what means the philosophy, the great masters have explained from each philosophy, but for us to understand what is that meaning to us, to make ourselves most glorious creature for which, and understand ourselves and mine ourselves and get the best out of it, we are yet to find. We have not found ourselves. We are still a great and noble creature. We have got so much of because sort of a potential in us, we have not ferreted it out. We will find out. That is what the next week will do. There he says, Neha Nanasti Kinchana, same thing again. Yama repeats, Mrityosa Mrityam Gachati Yan Hiha Naneva Pashyati. Neha Nanasti Kinchana, there is nothing else other than this. This is the only meaning. Neha Nanasti Kinchana. This is the word. Manasa Eva Idam Aptavyam Na Iha Nana Asti Kinchana. But na iha nana asti kinchana is always being, because in the composite word, neha nana asti kinchana, you would have seen these words everywhere and all. And we will also say mrityosa mrityum gachati, same, Yama repeats, because that's what Chinmayanda says. He has done a great advertising guru, because mrityosa mrityum, he doesn't say birth to death and all. He says mrityota mrityu, because let people understand, otherwise they will not be able to get through that. That's what Yama says. But of course Nachiketa has understood. How about us? We will be seeing next week, and we will also be seeing the great concept of Neha Nanasti Kinchana. With this I will conclude today's session. Sahana bhavatu, Sahana punaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahaihi, Tejasvina vadidamastu ma vishvidavahaihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Prabhu